protests in Hong Kong have lasted for more than 2 months. The movement has broadened into a greater opposition. The last couple of weeks, protesters have had to face the police on many occasions and have ended up developing methods to fight back and organize themselves. For example, as you can see in these images, the activists use lasers because the light can disrupt the police's vision, as well as blur the sensors of CCTV cameras that could identify them through facial recognition. Many tweets show the ingenious techniques of the protesters. To slow down policemen, they use plastic film stretched on the road and wrapped around their arms and legs. This film also protects them from tear gas irritation. Moreover, traffic cones are used to cover tear gas and prevent it from spreading. They then pour water into the cones to extinguish the tear gas. They are using Tinder, Pokemon Go, and Apple AirDrop to organize protests. Disney's live-action Mulan remake has become a surprise flashpoint in Hong Kong's ongoing pro-democracy, anti-police brutality protests after the film's star, Chinese-American actress Crystal Liu, took to social media to voice her support for the Hong Kong police force. Liu's statement sparked instant outcry in Hong Kong, where the local police have been accused by international human rights groups of excessive use of force in confrontation with protesters and the public. Liu shared an image originally released by the state-backed People's Daily reading, "I support Hong Kong's police. You can beat me up now," followed by, "What a shame for Hong Kong." Liu added the hashtag, "I also support the Hong Kong police," and a heart emoji. Comments on Liu's Instagram have similarly condemned her support for police brutality, as well as the suppression of democracy and freedom, which violates the character of Mulan, and likewise called for a boycott of the film. An American citizen, Liu was born in China and moved to the US at the age of 10. After staying there for 5 years, she became a US citizen but returned to China and built a career in Chinese TV and films, including the Chinese-American co-production The Forbidden Kingdom, which stars Jackie Chan and Jet Li. Mulan is her first leading role in a Hollywood production. Trump also weighed in on the protests via Twitter and recommended that the president of China and protesters meet to discuss matters. It does not appear that this will occur anytime soon. This movement appears to be supported by the population. Several people leave clothes near metro stations so that protesters can change and not be recognized, while others leave money or subway tickets, so activists do not use their own transport card, which has their name. Faced with all this mobilization, a senior Chinese government official responded by saying, I quote, "Those who play with fire will perish by it." The second news item is the IPCC's special report. IPCC, or the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, recently warned humanity about overexploitation of resources. Our worldwide population is growing exponentially, and so we are consuming more foodstuffs, wood, energy, etc. In addition to that, our diets have changed, and since 1961, the per capita consumption of vegetable oil and meat has more than doubled. Also, eating meat requires more water, which harms the soil. Experts also point out that 820 million people are currently starving, 2 billion adults are obese or overweight, and to top it off, about 30% of the food that is produced is wasted. IPCC calls for short-term actions against land degradation, food waste, and greenhouse gas emissions from the agricultural sector. The idea is to have people start to mainly eat diets based on coarse grains, legumes, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Finally, they also wish to drastically reduce the use of fossil fuels. If you want more information on the report by the IPCC, I will add the links in the description. So now we come to doping in esports. What are esport professionals using? Well, Adderall. It's a mixture of 4 amphetamines banned in Europe. In the United States, it is legal but used to help with concentration disorders like ADHD. Video game competitions can pay quite a bit, especially when you have an exceptional player, and on Fortnite, the World Cup gains reached $3 million for the winner of the solo competition. As you can see, this is a very obvious reason why there is interest in winning this kind of competition, and many wish to enhance their concentration artificially. Above all, the problem is that Adderall can create quite a few problems when taken in large doses, such as depression, anxiety, cardiovascular problems, and headaches. However, video games are not yet considered a sport by law, and nothing obligates the organizers to set up anti-doping controls for these competitions. Our fourth news info is Netflix, which has been canceling more and more series. Since June, there have been at least 5 series which have been cancelled. The OA, Tuca and Verity, Designated Survivor, She's Gotta Have It, and Chambers. fans are very disappointed. Many, for example, are so passionate about the OA to the point that a petition has been launched and a hashtag #SaveTheOA was created on Twitter. But then why has Netflix taken the risk of annoying its fans by canceling these series? The reason is quite simple. Netflix is currently in a bad way, and it can be explained via Instagram and news articles over the last couple months. Netflix is the first streaming platform in the world, but the thing is that these quarterly results were much worse than expected. Indeed, for the first time in its history, Netflix has even lost subscribers in the US, 126,000 to be more precise between April and June. One of the possible explanations for these bad numbers is perhaps the increase in tariffs. In short, it stinks. So Netflix has decided to focus on strong original programs or new ones in order to conquer subscribers. This year, the company plans to spend $13 billion for the production of original content, which is almost double compared to 2 years ago. CEO Reed Hastings is counting on the new seasons of popular series like La Casa de Papel, Stranger Things, and Orange is the New Black to bring the number of members back up before the end of the year. But Netflix also remains cautious because of the arrival of competition in the streaming market, including Disney, Apple, and others. In short, these giants in the industry will come to compete with the number one Netflix, which is already losing momentum. That's why this platform would rather cancel some shows which may be less popular so that they can focus on others that are more popular or on creating new series. So, we will end with the shootings in the US. A couple weekends ago, in less than 24 hours, 29 people died in 2 shootings. The first terrorist attack killed 20 people in El Paso, Texas, and later 9 people were killed in Dayton, Ohio. The shooter in El Paso, Patrick, who is just 21 years old, is suspected by investigators to have published a manifesto on HN, a website famous for its use by the far right, 45 minutes before the start of the massacre. In this manifesto, he writes about racist and anti-migrant sentiment. What you need to know is El Paso, the town where the shooting took place, is located very close to the Mexican border and is home to an approximate 85% Hispanic population. According to NGO archives, since the beginning of 2019, there have been over 250 mass shootings in the US, and the figures have only been increasing. As the death toll rises, the issue of carrying weapons in the US has come back into the media. In the United States, approximately 42% of Americans live in a home where there is at least one firearm. On the Monday following the shooting, Donald Trump suggested a better safety check by preventing people with mental disorders from buying them. He also accused video games of inciting mass shootings by stating, and I quote, "Second, we must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace." As a result of this remark, 4 of the largest video game companies saw their stocks fall: Activision, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, and Electronic Arts. There was a cumulative loss of more than $4 billion in the hours that followed the president's speech. However, a recent study from the University of Oxford shows that there is no connection between video games and aggressive behavior in young people. Other studies try to add nuance, however, their studies are usually not peer-reviewed or show a correlation rather than a causation. The fact is that Donald Trump diverts the attention of the masses by speaking of video games rather than gun laws. Multiple Democratic candidates have accused the president of fueling the rise of intolerance with his frequent declarations of hatred. Finally, others have asked the president to take into account a national threat called white nationalism. Between 2017 and 2018, according to the New America Centrist think tank, extreme right-wing violence has harmed or killed more victims in the United States than jihadist attacks. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and if you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe.